Hey now, today we're going to talk about the core. So many people are talking about, oh man, I can't wait to work on my core. And then you see them do some, maybe like a plank or a million different ways to flex the trunk, do this kind of sit-up, do that kind of sit-up. We're not really understanding what the core is. So I'm going to tell you what the core is. That way there can be no confusion in the future. So a little anatomy lesson here. Okay, this is your spine, that's your sacrum, there's your ilium, and then your other ilium. This is exactly what it looks like in your spine, in your body here, so pay close attention. First we have our erector spinae. They go all the way up the spine. Okay, we have the part of the multifidus, largest in the sacral area, but also goes all the way up the spine. So that goes all the way up. Alright, then we have the transverse abdominis. This muscle goes all the way around the spine, all the way to the front. Then we have the external obliques and the internal obliques. They're also going to go all the way around the spine, even connecting onto the ribs. Speaking of the rib, pretend that's the last rib, number 12 on the right. Here we're looking at the back, of course, and we have a nice little muscle called the QL that's going to attach onto there. It's going to look like that. Okay, so this, all the muscles are on both sides, by the way. So let's take a look at the glutes. Glutes are going to come down here. Okay, that's your glute max. Glute med is going to be here. Your glute min is going to be underneath it. Okay. These are the global muscles. We also have very, very small muscles in between each vertebrae, like your intertransversarii, your interspinalis, all these different muscles, but we'll look at a global picture here. Okay? Turn the body around, and what do we have? Of course we have the washboard abs, right? Our nice little six-pack there. We also have the psoas. The psoas is going to come down, attach onto that lesser trochanter of the femur. You have your iliacus that's going to go ahead and merge on with that, creating the iliopsoas. Alright, and then we have my personal favorite, the pelvic floor muscle. Your levator ani is going to be underneath here. The little obturator internus or externus is going to be down there. Alright, so we have all these muscles trying to work together for stabilization of the spine on the pelvis, or the trunk on the pelvis. This is really what the core is. You know, throughout all movements we want to make sure that everything down here is tight. And that's why we have all these muscles working together. So to just say, oh, I'm going to do some sit-ups, that's not really doing a lot. Okay, so we need a variety of different exercises, not just trunk flexors, but also some stabilization exercises. One of the muscles that usually is inhibited the most is this guy here. Our little lonely guy, our transverse abdominis. Okay, say it with me now. Transverse abdominis. Okay? So, a recent study from JMPT shows that the transverse abdominis is going to hypertrophy with correct activation when your spine is in neutral. What does that mean? It means your transverse abdominis muscle is going to get stronger when your spine is in a neutral position, meaning a good lumbar curve here. Right? Kind of looking like that. So, what are some of the exercises that we can do now? One of the best, first of all, we have to learn how to utilize this transverse abdominis. Best way to do that is abdominal hollowing. It's an exercise you can do on the floor, and really just being able to control your breathing while maintaining a tight transverse abdominis. Okay? One of the other really good exercises for this is actually an overhead squat. Okay? It doesn't matter what the load is, it's just going to be right up overhead. And here, if I had a lot of weight, this thing is going to be wobbling around. But if I can control that transverse abdominis and then in turn tighten up the internal, external obliques and all this, now I have a really good stable movement where I can come all the way down into that squat and drive up without a lot of movement here. And again, controlling that breath. You control the breath with a tight core. Now I can move, versus just holding your breath and trying to keep everything tight. So, your homework for today now is to memorize all this, because this is exactly what your core looks like. Perfect picture, yeah? Let's look up how to do some abdominal hollowing. If you need any help with that, just contact me through dryon.com. Have a great day. Drink water.